Hi, this is Melanie Pardesi Reviews, and I'm here to do my top 5 Malayalam films of 2019. If you're new to Pardesi Reviews, I do trailer reactions and film reviews of Indian cinema. Still have a really bad cold. I feel like I've been sick the entire month of February. So I'm very sorry that this is the top 5 list that's been the most delayed. I had a lot of catching up to do with films that I didn't catch in theaters, and I had several recommendations, and thank you, I got to see some really great films over the last few weeks. Making a top 5 list for Malayalam cinema for 2019 was challenging. My top 2 films were easy to pick, but there's so many good ones, it was really hard to narrow down what is number 3, number 4, number 5. So I have some honorable mentions, and I'm sure your top 5 list, you would reverse all the order and make it all different. They're all excellent. I'm just telling you, it's, I might as well almost have listed 3 through 5 alphabetically because they're all so excellent. Some of these are on other people's top 5 lists, but maybe they didn't connect with me quite as much. Also, I want to mention that people are saying, where is your review of Mutan? And I can't see the film. It never showed in Chicago. This is a film that premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival. I thought by now it would be on streaming. I have not been able to find it anywhere. So if anyone knows where I can, I don't know if it's streaming yet in India, but just is blocked for my country right now. I'm trying. As soon as it's available, I will watch it. First honorable mention is Unda, which I mispronounced in my review of the film. This is an excellent ensemble film with Mammootty about a troupe of police officers who go to monitor an election, to help the army monitor an election in a different state. And they're really fish out of water. It was a great ensemble film. Tom Shine Chaco was amazing. He had a couple of great films this year, but he was very good in this one. So I enjoyed it very much, but being an outsider, I knew there was a lot of humor and a lot of subtlety to the political satire and commentary that just went over my head. And there was only so much that the subtitles could try to convey to me. A lot of it was I just didn't have the background knowledge, I think, to fully appreciate the film. I know it really resonated with audiences, and I admire Mammootty for really having some bold choices this year in films, and this is just one of his incredible performances, picking great scripts. His film Perimba was one of my top Tamil films of the year. Another film that's sort of an honorable mention that just kind of didn't make the top 5 cut, but was a really interesting film is Ishq, not a love story. Shane Nagam, I loved him in Kumbalangi Nights and Parava. He, with these braces, oh my gosh. Shane and Anshitol play a young couple, so we see their love story in the first hour or so of the film, and then it becomes a thriller when they're discovered in the backseat of a parked car. They hadn't even kissed yet, but Tom Shine Chaco, oh my gosh, he was something else in this film. The level of tension that this director, Anurag Manohar, gave us, it was so intense that halfway through the film, I had to turn it off and walk away for a little bit. It was too much. It was too much tension for me. The film was great, and then it went a little too far. Shane Nagam's revenge was given hero background music and slow-mo, and that's where he kind of lost me. So that's really the reason why it didn't make the final 5, but it's still amazing performances in the film, and it's a film I'm not going to be forgetting anytime soon, let me tell you that. So highly recommend you seek that out on streaming. Number 5 is Uare, or Rising, starring Parvati. Oh my gosh, this film. She plays an acid attack victim. We get to see her whole background story of how she, as a girl, dreamed to be a pilot. I mean, Malayalam cinema is so great and really telling women coming-of-age stories. I mean, the film has been out for a long time, so I'm not going to worry about spoilers like I did in my review, but Asif Ali plays her fiancé. When she goes for pilot training and they have this long-distance relationship, he kept, he's like emotionally controlling of her. And when she finally says enough and breaks off the engagement, that's when he splashes the acid on her face. What she goes through, how she confronts his family, that scene was so emotional. It's such an amazing tour de force performance by Pardesi. I've admired her as an actress, but this was really a tour de force performance. Tovino Thomas plays someone that helps her after the acid attack and helps her find a new career because she's blinded in one eye. She can't continue on as a pilot. But even though this is a dark subject, it ends on a very hopeful note. It's very heartwarming. It was just really a well-done film. Now, this is the only acid attack victim film this year. Hindi cinema had Chapak, starring Deepika Padukone, which is also a lovely film. But I got to tell you, Pardesi did it better. She really did. She had some real showstopper scenes in this film. So, love this one. Even though it's a difficult subject to watch, highly recommend that you see this film. Number 4 is Virus. Does any film seem more pertinent right now with all we're going through with coronavirus? Oh my gosh. I really knew nothing about the Nipah virus and the outbreak in Kerala. I know most of the people watching this film were very familiar with the events, but for me, everything was brand new. This is an ensemble film with an incredible star cast. Oh my gosh. After I saw the film at the local Chicago theater, I was talking to somebody else who saw the film and who joked to me, is there anyone in the Malayalam film industry that's not in this film? Like, really? Director Ashik Abu put together this film, within a year of when this Nipah virus outbreak took place, which is, that alone is incredible to have something so contemporary to the events as they happened. This is a director who has given us some of my favorite films, Mayanadi and Salt and Pepper. He did an incredible job. It's really a hyperlink kind of a story. The screenwriters were the same ones that gave us Traffic, but this director wove all of these stories together. There's so many, some are just cameo walk-ons by actors, but some of the standouts to me, Salman Shahir has a brief role as a patient. I mean, he's always good, but he was really good in this. And then Pardesi plays a doctor who is searching for that patient zero, that first patient. It's all sort of, like a mystery thing. She's, investigating and trying to find what is the source? Where did it all come from? How did it transfer from animal to the first patient? Or was it an animal or whatever? She's searching out those answers. I mean, she had an incredible year. This is the second film I'm talking about her already. Tovino Thomas, I think his role was the collector, and Revati played like the health minister. It was great to see her in such a strong role like this. But the real standout for me was Joju George, who plays a hospital attendant, and we see how hard it is. He's under quarantine. He's having to do all these duties at the hospital, and he has to be away from his family. He has to deal with all the things like dealing with the dead bodies and crematoriums that are so afraid that they don't want to even accept the diseased patients for them to be cremated. He is an incredible performer. Loved his film Joseph last year. To me, he was the heart and soul of the movie for me. He was just so good. I could go on and on with all the different performers. Asif Ali was very strong in this film. He played the bad boyfriend in Urari, and here he's playing a much more sympathetic character. Just excellent. Excellent acting all around. A gripping film. I think it was gripping even for the people that already knew all of the background and all the information of what had happened. I just thought it was really good filmmaking. Hard to do, to bring all of these story threads together and make a compelling and comprehensive film. Great job. The cinematography and the editing and the background music were also excellent. The cinematography, I remember there was like red lighting and just interesting shots to just add to the sense of dread, and especially the background music just added so much atmosphere and added to the tension. It was really well done and well put together. The film, I think, is really an ode to the heroic healthcare workers, and specifically Rima Kalinga, who played this nurse who was so heroic that even though she was dying of the virus, she was trying to give as much information to the doctor examining as she could, and just trying to give him the warning, this isn't dengue fever, this is something else, this is something different. And the end of the film honors her. But I think the whole film is really an ode to the heroism of all of these healthcare workers that were literally on the front line of this war to stop the virus. Number 3 is Helen, which was a film that I avoided seeing. I just posted the review of it. Oh my gosh. Anna Ben, what a year. She was introduced to us in Kumbalangi Nights. And then this film was just really her film with Lal, who I always love Lal, who plays her father. I just avoided it because just even watching the trailer, I'm like, I don't want to watch Sweet Anna Ben freeze in the freezer. Like, it's just so hard. But people kept urging me to see it, and there's so many depths to the message of this film, and how everyone's misogyny around her contributes to her not being found for so long. It's just, one missed opportunity after another. And oh my gosh, didn't we all want to kill Achu Pardesi, or just like grab him and shake him? Oh my gosh. He was really good at playing that character that you just love to hate. It's that corrupt police officer that just didn't give a damn about this poor girl being missing, and slut shaming her, and just, oh my gosh. It's not a word that I would say that I enjoyed this film. I also had to kind of turn this one off in the middle because it just got so tense. But when you have a survival movie like this, and the actor is really put to the test because they don't have another actor to act opposite. Well, he or she had the little mouse for a while, but it's not easy when you're just on that screen by yourself, and she had no one to talk to, and she's just having to convey all of these emotions, everything that she's going through in her face. She did such a good job with this film. I just love the relationship that she had with her father, played by Lal, and he was so just believably frantic and in his search for her, and not wanting to give up, and not believing that she would just run away from him, even though they had set up that argument. But anyway, such a good film. Seek it out on streaming. Number 2 is Lijo Joe's Palliseri's Jalakuttu. Oh my gosh. This film, now the last 2 years, my number 1 film of all Indian cinema has been a Lijo Joe's Palliseri film. Angamali Diaries, Malayalam. He is my favorite filmmaker, probably in Malayalam cinema. He is just the bomb. And this film debuted at the Toronto International Film Festival. It created sensation. It is such kinetic filmmaking. There's something about the way Lijo Joe's Palliseri makes these films that you just completely you're right in the middle of everything. You're just right in the middle of a fight. You're not separated from the action. You're just like, you're in it. This is an incredible artistic achievement, this film. The cinematography, the way light is used, the way the soundscape draws you in. The opening of the film, we have music made from sounds and people's breathing, and I could go on and on and on about how incredible this film is. I don't think it touched me and connected with me emotionally the way that Angamali Diaries and Malayalam did, but I just stand in awe of Lijo Joe's Palliseri's filmmaking. This is one where he didn't write the script. It was based on a short story that was adapted for the film. This is just a kind of film like you could just keep watching it over and over again because there's so many things to pull out of it. And one thing that I noted was that it's only men that chase after this runaway bill. The women have nothing to do with it. And it's really a commentary. Who are the real beasts? The men are the ones that are the beast. And oh my gosh, that final shot. I mean, that's an image that is just going to stay with all of us forever, right? Incredible. Just the vision of it. Like, it's just unbelievable. Jimbo Vanad Joes plays this butcher. He's kind of the main character And then one of his workers is played by Anthony Varghese, who is from Angamali Diaries as well. Like, we get hints at this conflict between them, and then, oh my gosh, wow, things get crazy. Just excellent acting all around. I just blown away by this film. I'm so glad also that I was able to see it in a theater, because just the soundscape and just experiencing that would not have been the same at home. But I still would urge you to seek it out on streaming if you have not seen it, because it's definitely worth seeing. Okay, so you're like, Melanie, how could you have that not be your number one? Okay, but there was one film that stood above all others that touched me so much, and just Kumbalangi Nights. My number one is Kumbalangi Nights. This film came out at the beginning of 2019, and nothing else replaced it in my heart as the number one film of the year. It is just incredible. It's another ensemble piece. So many great actors are in this film. Fahad Fazil playing a very negative role. I admire him for taking his film choices. He just goes there all different places. He was decidedly creepy in this film. He's taking it, and he's not the lead necessarily. There's a group of four brothers. The two main brothers that we hear their stories are played by Sabin Shahir, and again, Shane Nagam. Incredible year for him. Shane Nagam is the young love story with Anna Ben. This was her first film. I mean, look how she did this film. She's, twice in my list here with Helen and Kumbalangi Nights. Kumbalangi, I learned, is sort of a tourist destination. It's a suburb of a big city. So a lot of films that I've seen have either been in the city in Kerala or very rural, and this was something in between. These four brothers don't all have the same exact appearance. They live in the ramshackle side of town. They live in this ramshackle kind of house, and then the contrast is that Fahad Faisal lives in the nicer part of town. Banu Ben's sister is his wife, and so the contrast here is between what seems to be the perfect family and what seems to be the not perfect family living in the wrong side of town. Also about found family, because at the beginning of the film, there's no women that live in the house with the four brothers. And by the end, it's become this place, with several women, and they have created a new family there. Literally, they live on the side of the town where people dump sacks of kittens to drown them. The scenery in this film, so beautiful that it has made me decide I'm definitely visiting Kerala later this year. Coming to India, and I have to visit Kerala. It's just the beauty in this film. It just, wow, it's so gorgeous. But the acting, I would say Sabin Shahir really, he's a very fine actor, but this film was something beyond. Normally he does a lot of comedy. This is a film where he's deeply emotionally distressed, and he finally has to ask for help. This is a film that shows someone in therapy, and the scene where he breaks down, oh my gosh, wow. It's something that I'm going to remember for a long time. These four brothers are, at the beginning, they're really literally physically fighting all the time. And the film takes their emotional journey of really having to band all together to help one of the brothers, Bobby, in his romance with the Anna Ben character. And yeah, things get a little crazy at the end. It took some turns I was not expecting. But what happens with Bobby and Anna Ben is what really binds all the brothers together and makes them this cohesive family again. Director is Madhu Narayanan, and incredibly, this is his debut film. Like, I cannot wait to see what this guy does next. Oh my gosh, what an amazing debut. Now, Fahad and his wife Nazria helped produce this film and get it made, so kudos to them for that. It's just such a heartwarming film. It just was my favorite of all the Malayalam films that I saw this year. Absolutely loved this film. Sure, if you're watching this, you've probably already seen it, but if you haven't, it is a must-see film. It is an absolute must-see film. Now, while Super Deluxe is my number one film of all Indian cinema this year, this would be probably my number two. I just absolutely loved this film so much. It just had such a good message, such exceptional acting across the board, very fine filmmaking. Okay, I want to know what your top 5 list is. I haven't been able to see every Malayalam film. I know I missed some. I know Salban had that film, the Android film, which I believe is on streaming. streaming, and I want to catch up with that. That made some people's top 10 Malayalam film lists, so I do want to catch that. If there's any other ones that I've missed, please do let me know. Follow me on Twitter at PardesiYT, subscribe to Pardesi Reviews, and if you hit the bell when you subscribe, you'll never miss another film review or trailer reaction.